Hey, diddle diddle.
So, that event, huh? I'm usually not that negative of a person, but I wanted to make a video about this thingamajig that's happening, and how much it kind of misses the point of the game and why everyone is going nuts. I recorded some audio before, but it was really meandering. Not to say this isn't. This is still basically unscripted. I just have little bullet points. But hopefully, I will not talk in circles. That's the biggest hope. Alright, part 1, I'm going to be talking about my experience with this game and why I'm not as mad as one might be. And then I'm just going to actually get into the event and how bad it is and why everyone's freaking out. And then I'm going to probably just wrap this up. I don't know if that will be its own section, but we'll see. I think the first thing I want to get out of the way is I don't think that this game is actually in a bad place right now. Like, it's in a frustrating place for a lot of people, and I've been frustrated by it a few times. But the base game of Dead by Daylight in the year of our Lord 2026 is not bad. It's actually way better than it's been in a while, in my opinion, because I feel like there's kind of a resting period right now where things are not insane. The only things I can think of that are nuts are things that aren't even things I'm conscious of in most matches. There's very little for me to get mad at. And a lot of the problems with the game that I have are either things the community does that are insane, or just the infrastructure of the game being terrible, which they're probably going to fix. And I guess on that topic, I am someone who finds the animosity towards the devs of this game very weird. Like, I feel like I'm not going to go Nintendo fan on this. I'm not going to say leave the $1 million company alone. Behavior's a business. Calling them an indie company at this point is ridiculous. But at the same time, I feel like people should be pointing their animosity towards, like, you know, the people who own the company. Whenever there is tumultuous stuff happening within a game company, it is almost always because of a higher up that is crazy. And I feel like Behavior could have that. I don't know. But I feel like spamming the pretty good job so far thing over and over again just kind of misses the target as to where your animosity should be pointed. Like, sure, the devs being cringy is one thing. The devs not knowing what to do with their game can be obnoxious, but I don't know, I don't hate them for that. If I made a video game, I don't think I would know everything about it either, especially a game with this much shit in it. I know how everything works in this game because I'm mentally ill, and I don't think they need to be too. But I think that despite all this, it is a stressful game. It is a very stressful game. But I think that's why I like it, and why certain people like it. Like, I'm talking specifically about playing killers, you know? Like, when you're playing a survivor, it's a little bit hard, but it's kind of breezy compared, because you're 4 people, and you don't have to have your brain on entirely all the time, and then the killer you just have to be task managing everything. Well, why do I like this? I know why I play stressful games. It's because I like to work very hard for my win. I like hard things. I main Vanguard in Marvel Rivals, not because they're powerful, but because I get to prevail as something that people do not expect to prevail. I like being the center of attention. I like choosing a low tier and prevailing with them and showing people what they can do. I like going against insane odds and winning. It's just the way that I work. And I feel like people who are just in this to win are going to be very frustrated. As far as this game and this event. I'm also very hard to tilt in any meaningful way. I laugh at my own mistakes. It's hard enough in real life. I don't gotta make it harder in fake life. If someone's being a dickhead, usually I'll just scoff it off because, like, alright, it's Dead by Daylight, dude. It's not that deep. I feel like I am just a very generally low cortisol gamer. There is very little things that can make me angry, and those things are very specific. I think what helps is I don't play this game nearly as much as people who are, capital C content creators for this game. I'm not a P100 Andy. I don't have anyone above, like, 50p. I play this game very casually. I spread my levels across the entire killer cast because I find them all interesting in some way, and I mostly just pump all of my blood points on Survivor into Detective Tapp because I think he's funny, because he appears in one of the Saw video games. And I'm mostly just picking my builds off of, like, oh, here's one thing to deal with generators, and here's the rest of my build, which can be whatever the fuck. I don't feel pressured by this. I feel like if I did play this game for a living, maybe there'd be a part of me that felt like I had something to prove, or I'd have encountered the annoying stuff in this game so often that I would get even more fed up, but that's just not who I am. And, like, on top of all this, I don't mind palette density right now. A lot of people hate that there's so many palettes, but what I would say is loops are where the gameplay of Dead by Daylight happen. When you're between loops, you're just kind of like, either getting a cheap hit on someone or they're too far away to hit, and there's nothing really to do in that time that is that interesting. When you're at the main building, when you're at a shack, when you're at, like, a jungle gym, that's when I have to turn my brain on, and having more places in the game where I have to turn my brain on is something that I'm fine with. I think that them being secretive about upping the palette density is very weird. I don't know why you would even have to do that. Just be honest with people. But I like it. As a killer main, I like playing around palettes. I don't even play that many palette busting killers. That's just the fun part of the game for me, is loops. I think I also, weirdly enough, just don't encounter the things people complain about as much. Like, I've heard a lot of people say, like, tunneling is needed to win. You will have to slug 4 people at some point. Gen speeds are nuts, they're insane. And, like, I don't know about other people, maybe other people are going for the 4K at all times, but I've never felt the need to tunnel people. I just chase the person that appears in front of me, and if there are more than one person, I will just make a decision based on who would be smarter to chase. I really don't go for people who are just off hook most of the time, but if I return to hook and that is who's there, I will chase them. I've never needed to tunnel, and slugging is fine, but, like, 4-man slugging, I can count on one hand the amount of times I've ever done that, because it's really not needed unless you're going against people who are obnoxious. And those people are, 1 in a billion for me. And generator speeds are nuts, but, like, I really just need 1 gen regression perk every game and I'm good. 1 or 2, that's my rule. And then I'm golden. Like, all that said, I will agree that the game is very Survivor-sided right now in a lot of ways. But it's not bad because of that, it's just harder. It's just more difficult, and I like difficult. I can understand why people are frustrated, though. You might be thinking, wow, Dorkfox, you're a very positive person when it comes to this game. You must think this event, because it's even harder, you must love it, right? This event is one of the worst things that this game has ever done. This is the funhouse mirror of what people think Dead by Daylight is. Like, this is, like, Silent Hill heard what people think Dead by Daylight is, and then they tried to make it. This is a mutation. This is a homunculus of frustrations with the community made whole. I don't know how the fuck it happened. Let's go down some lists here. This will not be in any particular order. For the first time in my life, it has made me completely doubt that there are any killer mains among the balance staff, which is an insane prospect. Whenever people insinuate that, I think that's nuts. Because, what do you mean? Like, new killers don't just come from the ether, they're designed, and someone has to design them. And sure, that person doesn't have to be a killer main, but I don't know, I think they've been doing a pretty good job so far. God damn it. I can see why so many YouTubers use that line, it's so easy to use. But this event is so uninteractive for killers that I don't know how else to describe what went wrong, other than you just didn't ask anyone who plays killer what is fun or what is interesting. It feels like they aren't balancing for what killers deal with and what they see, but more what faces the survivor. Almost every single mechanic in this event faces the survivor and doesn't really face the killer in any meaningful way. Like, the foods, that is only a thing for survivors to interact with. That until dessert rolls around, food can't even be, like, touched in a meaningful way by killer. They can poison the food, but I don't know what this does. I've never gotten it to work. Speaking of the poison, killer has a cool thing. They have the poison bottle. They have the green slime that they can throw at survivors, that gives them a stamina bar, and if that runs out, then they go really slow. But let's think about that. That's just another thing that faces the survivor. Sure, it harms the survivor, but adding a new mechanic to the survivor role is what this killer thing does. And the killer doesn't know when it's gonna happen, they just have to kind of notice someone's really slowing down and go for it. It's powerful, yes, but it's not interesting. And I feel like a lot of my downs with it have felt kind of ill-gained because of it. And even then, when the desserts roll around, killers can now interact with food, and they get little things, but they lose the poison. It's like killer can only have one extra mechanic at a time during this event, and even then, the dessert mechanic is something that faces everyone at once, and like a major food effect might still be happening at the same time. Now, what do those major courses give you? Really powerful stuff for Survivor. Really frustrating things that killer has to deal with. You have, I don't know the names of them off the top of my head. The baked one, the portals one. This one is probably the best one, in my opinion. Not in terms of quality, but just actual design of it. You can pick up morsels, and when you eat them, you get invincibility. Not invincibility. We'll get into invincibility. You get invisibility. And this can be feast or famine. Like, either the killer can listen to where you're at and, like, make a decision based off of it, like the spirit, or, they just use it from mid-distance and there's nothing you can do. Like, the radius of the sound is not nearly strong enough to follow. So sometimes when you're playing a killer, you'll just lose someone in the middle of a chase. And there's nothing you can do about it. Like, certain killers can do some funny stuff about it, but, not everyone can, and that's frustrating. You could just lose chases for no reason. And that's not to mention the portals, but the portals are fine, in my opinion. Like, survivors can use them to just get out of a chase and teleport somewhere random, but the killer can follow them through the portal, to chase them, and that's fine. I've had really fun moments where I've come out of a portal in front of another survivor's face. Like, that's fun. I like that. And you could use the portals whenever you want as killer. It's an actual killer-facing mechanic. Wow. They actually gave killers something new to do. And on top of that, the main course effect isn't even that crazy. Everyone starts getting their items upgraded and changed when they go through portals, and they gain new things, and they get a little bit of invisibility afterward. And, like, that's powerful, but we'll get into why this isn't as frustrating. Because the other two give you something entirely different that is fucked up. The second one is the Trotters. The Trotters are probably the most straightforward one. They're just all about speed. A survivor eats something and they just sprint forward a little bit. It's as if they used like a weak version of dramaturgy. I guess this is a little obnoxious, but I've been playing against haste builds for so long that this really doesn't feel like a lot of trouble. And I'm gonna be real, I don't even remember what the big effect was, because whenever it happened, I was less focused on whatever speed it gave survivors, and I was more focused on the fact that whenever it happens, every single survivor in the match heals. Just, you get a health state. You could be in a chase with someone, and upon hitting them, they just become normal again. When you, like, if you get a down, they could just get up if this is timed right. If people know what they're doing, they can make survivors almost untouchable. And it's frustrating as hell. It's the only part of this event that every time it happens, I have nothing positive to say about it. I have nothing that I could add that would be like, oh, this is a fine addition. Killers just have to deal with more health states now, and they don't get much else to deal with it. It's, wow, Peachy Keen. Good job. Ugh. I already hate, Adrenaline, but at least that only appears at the very end of the match. This just happens whenever the hell it wants, it feels like. Like, as a killer, you have no agency over when people get healed. And then we get to the worst one, the creamy spaghetti. The creamy pasta. This thing is a tantamount to how little the developers seem to understand the balance of their game. The base ability that survivors get when they eat a morsel is they start glowing, and you can't do anything to them while they're glowing. This is kind of hard to deal with, but it's not impossible. It's just old Dead Hard. And I liked old Dead Hard more than new Dead Hard, so there's that. I can deal with this. This is fine. But then there's the thing where every survivor seems to be able to reset pallets whenever they want. That's pretty gnarly. I don't know if that's an actual effect, but it kept happening. Maybe people just bring that one perk all the time. But then there's the main course. The first thing you'll notice, every single pallet is invincible now. If someone drops a pallet in a strong spot, and you aren't a killer that can immediately deal with that, there's nothing that can be done. You can just go around it, but they can keep going around it, and they can keep using the pallet as, like, it's an invincible pallet, is a literal god pallet now. And there are parts of the map where, like, if this happens, a survivor is literally untouchable. You cannot deal with them. And then, on top of this, if you're thinking, oh, well, I'll just break pallets whenever I can so I don't deal with invincible pallets. Well, bad news, the pallets come back. The pallets just reform themselves whenever this happens. So survivors will never have to worry about running out of them. And then, on top of this, for some reason, this effect has the healing thing that Trotters has. Everyone is just getting health states for no reason. And if survivors are coordinated enough, they could just make everyone invincible, basically. They can just make sure that no health state matters. Do the devs not know what pallets even are? Like, do they not understand how important that they are in the way this game works and why being able to destroy them is important? Do they not understand that pallets are where the game happens and your counterplay as killer, aside from outplaying people, is destroying the palette. And they just decided to get rid of that for like a whole minute in a match. Do they understand? Do they know? I would say even above all of this, the worst part for me is just the free health states. I don't know why they exist in this mode. Why did they think that the killer getting the green slime meant that survivors need to be able to heal whenever they want in the middle of anything? It is completely absurd. And like, I'm laughing right now because I'm not someone who can easily be, frustrated. But this event was frustrating to play. It felt bad because it felt like going to clock in at the get your shit rocked factory. So why is it this way? I have a theory. The last few events had some very killer-sided abilities, like remote breaking of pallets and remote hooks. There was that skeleton you could just, throw at people. That was really powerful, and survivors didn't get a lot, but, they got an equal amount of mechanics to go against it. But survivors did complain because it was very much, the killer abilities were very powerful. So I think they might have overcorrected. And then they thought, okay, obviously, killers' existing mechanics account for enough that we don't need to give them much of anything. And yeah, killers can do plenty, but I mean, this isn't a fun idea. This isn't a fun thing to do. I've seen more than one person call this a killer humiliation ritual in their thumbnails. I think that's a bit far. I don't think that it's intentionally trying to do that, but I can see why people would get that impression. This is absolutely just horse plinko. I am empathetic to people having frustrations, even if I am not easily frustrated. And if people who play your game for money are deciding to quit and calling for a boycott of the playing killer, money's a pretty big thing these days. People are, they want it. If people are foregoing it to just not play your video game, there is a problem. I think that people might be a little bit hyperbolic, but I don't blame them as much, even if I don't feel that way at all. I don't think this is an omen. This is just one bad event at a very unopportune time. But it absolutely does illustrate the disconnect between the devs and the game itself, as well as the vast difference in how survivors are treated mechanically versus killers. I could see in my head why people think that it's only Survivor mains making this game, because I could imagine them going what would be fun for Survivor, and then just not really understanding what would be fun for killer and just giving them the green slime. It's... man. Not every dev needs to play their own game, but it sure helps. For the first time in a long time, I am frustrated with Dead by Daylight, just as a whole. I hate how sensationalized problems with this game can become. I think that people will look at little dirt hills and call them mountains a lot of the time. But I really do feel at this point, there's just this weird, unignorable malaise of misunderstanding about this event. I think that this was a major miss. I'm still gonna play this game, because I don't play this game every single day. I play it, not even once a week. To a lot of people who play this game, I might be under the purview of taking a break, but I'm really not. I'm just playing this game for a healthy amount of time, which is not every single goddamn day. So yeah, I'm still gonna play this game. And I'm definitely still gonna make stuff about this game. The killer videos are just interesting to write and make. I'm not gonna stop that. But I really get why people are jumping ship at this point. And if I'm gonna be real, if a different, more complex and meaty, well-considered, asymmetrical game comes out, and there's enough to talk about that it would fill this space, I would probably swap it out. Like, I think that it is a bit harsh to say, oh, Dead by Daylight is only succeeding because there's nobody trying to take the throne. Like, that's not true. There's a lot of stuff in this game that is very unique to me. I think that there's a lot of things just in its design that you can't get anywhere else, even in other asymmetrical games. But I will not lie. If something better comes along, I would probably jump ship too. Probably just not in that way. I like talking about this game too much to fully leave it. It's cool. Well, thank you for listening to me yap about the state of this event and the game. If this was too much of a downer thing, I totally understand. I just needed to talk about this because it's the thing to talk about. If I missed my chance to talk about this, I would be a goober. I always feel weird self-promoting, but if you've made it this far, I guess you'll listen to me say anything. So, press those buttons that make you subscribe and like the video, and maybe the ones that make you comment. If you're on mobile, I guess hype it. I still don't know what it really does. But if you really, really want to support me, I have a Ko-Fi, and I am trying to get memberships started. Maybe that is up by the time I'm making this video. Maybe it isn't, but it is a plan. If you don't want to deal with PayPal, basically. I will be seeing you next time. Thank you for your interest in me talking about garbage. I love you all, genuinely. Have a great day.
Yeah, right.